guys, it's Rory, and today I am not with my dad. I am with the Melon himself, Anthony Fantano, aka the host of the TheNeedleDrop YouTube channel. Do you have any bio that you want to talk about yourself?
Just the internet's busiest music nerd.
Best teeth in the game?
Best teeth in the game. From what I've read online, soon to be replaced by you. You're going to be replacing me soon.
Yeah.
From what I've read in some articles, like my days are numbered. So I'm over here to basically face down the number one threat to my livelihood in person, and just see what all the buzz is about, essentially.
Yeah. So if you guys didn't know, he is on tour right now. He is on the West Side tour right now. And so, how's the tour been so far? Any highlights of the tour? Any not so very much highlights? Any bad moments?
So far, the highlights of the tour have been Vancouver, amazing, cleanest city we've been to so far, nicest city we've been to so far. Portland crowd, most polite crowd of the whole tour. San Francisco crowd, drunkest crowd of the whole tour. Lots of yelling and screaming in the middle of the set. And so far, those have kind of been like the defining moments of each city. Everything else between has just been like trying to not eat like garbage and driving and trying to stay awake while driving, and just trying to survive the tour life, the tour situation.
Cool. So, of the albums that have came out this year, what are some albums that you've listened to and you've really liked, or some albums that you listened to and you didn't really like? Like, what are some albums of the year that you think can make your top 50 so far?
Albums that are definitely in my top 5 so far this year are probably the Little Simz Gray Area, probably the Shoo Shoo, Girl with a Basket of Fruit, definitely the Wise Blood, Titanic, Rising, the new Billie Eilish, as well as the new Matmos record, Plastic Anniversary, and maybe the new Comet is the new Comet record, the Life Force record, that jazz fusion album that I loved earlier in the year that I thought was so good. Those are probably my top 5 or 6 records so far this year.
Nice. So, are there any albums that you're looking forward to this year, or looking forward to review later in the year that are coming out?
Playboy Cardi right now, Swan's record hopefully at some point soon, new Tyler the Creator. It's already out, but I haven't listened to it yet. I haven't gotten a review out of it yet, but the new Vampire Weekend as well.
Oh, yeah.
Even if I'm not super excited about that, I know my fans are sort of like banging down my door right now. Like I'm on tour right now trying to sort of please the crowds of people in front of me, but simultaneously people are just like ripping me apart online, like, where's the Vampire Weekend review, you coward? You frickin' coward, where's the Vampire Weekend review? So that's essentially.
You got too many followers. That's
I know, exactly. I have to give you guys some after this. After I'm all done. After my career's over, please just follow Dad Reacts and just throw me in the trash. Like this Melon's gonna go bad one day. Just like me, guys.
So I heard you mention Swans.
Yeah.
And I know that you are a big fan of Swans, and you gave To Be Kind a 10 out of 10. And I know that you gave well, not a bunch, but you have certain places of the 10 out of 10s that you've given out. So are there any albums that you think overall of this decade are going to go on to your top? However, are you going to do a top 100 or?
You know, at the end of the decade, I'm definitely going to do like a top 100 albums of the decade. No question about that. I was actually listening to an album last night while we were on a drive of a record that's definitely going to make it in the top 100. That Kieran J. Callanan album, Bravado. It's such a good record from a few years ago that I thought was fantastic. And you know, I mean, 2019 is halfway through very soon. So I mean, as soon as this year is over, it's really going to have to be kind of crunch time to start working on a best of the decade. So it's kind of like a monumental moment for me, considering that I've been doing this for so long, that I have the ability to go back and literally look at all of my reviews and just be like, okay, like what did I like the most over this whole like period in time, and like what's worth sort of referencing and mentioning all over again.
When did you start?
I started the TheNeedleDrop as just an idea in like 2007, and it sort of eventually evolved into a YouTube channel in 2009. and that same YouTube channel has been just kind of slowly, steadily growing ever since.
So it's really about a decade that
Yeah.
you've been doing it in a big way. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So for your review process, do you even have a review process? I know that you do you like script down your reviews, or do you just like kind of say what you are feeling at the moment? Like, what's your kind of listening process?
It depends on the record and my feelings on it. There are some reviews, and it is rare that I can usually go a little off script and pretty much perform the review off the cuff, and it's just based purely off of my like rage or even maybe even excitement about how great an album is. But for the most part, I would say there's definitely a repeated ritual to the way the reviews are done, in terms of just like trying to listen casually, trying to listen closely, writing down notes, writing down information that I think is pertinent to certain tracks, the album as a whole, and then trying to pull that all together into a series of somewhat fragmented sentences and bullet points that I can kind of riff off on camera and sort of write them down formally, but then say maybe something that's a bit more conversational as I'm trying to deliver the review and the final product. And then once that's done, I have a friend of mine who helps me out that chops all of that down into basically the bare bones of the review, and then I try to go over that and edit it and cut out things that don't make sense, or maybe reword something, reshoot something, or just try to reorient something so that it just sounds better. And then after that, I'll go through another pass over my editor, and he'll sort of make sure that I haven't said anything wrong, or any kind of like major misinformation slips through or something like that. So there's definitely like a series of filters each review goes through, and there's definitely a process, and it's been done so many times at this point it can get accomplished in a relatively quick amount of time. Turning a review over of a new record in 24 hours, after just hearing the album for a pretty short amount of time, like it's just dropped, is and keeping that process up every single day of the week for the most part is pretty tough, but we get it done.
Yep. What's pretty unique to your channel is out of a lot of reviews or even reactors, they mostly stick to a genre, which is normally like, for reactors it's normally rap or hip hop, and for reviewers it's normally like rock or indie or pop, but you cover all genres and you give your honest opinions on each one. And there are, I'm pretty sure of all genres, there are some albums that you have liked out of it. So is there any genres that you prefer? Are there any genres that you try to not review, or some genres that you have noticed that you get more high ratings to?
I think that as far as like genres that I give more high ratings to, I've noticed in when people have tried to average out my reviews, sometimes on average my metal reviews can rank pretty high, even though I don't review like a whole ton of metal on the channel all the time. But usually when I end up reviewing a metal record, it's because it ends up kind of blowing me away to the point where I feel like I need to talk about it. Because most of the time it's when I'm deciding to do a review, it's an amalgamation or a combination of, am I interested in it? Is it on a label I'm following? Is my audience demanding that I talk about it? So it is kind of difficult to kind of throw in a bunch of reviews that maybe I'm interested in reviewing, but maybe they're not that positive. You know what I mean? Sometimes it makes more sense to, instead of veering in that direction, just more give the audience what they want. It's kind of a give and take thing. There are plenty of albums I review throughout the year that maybe aren't the most glowing, and the audience has no clue what the hell they are, like the new George Clinton record, for example. But even my small review on that record, which was relatively positive, kind of blew the album up and gave it a lot of attention.
Yeah,
So,
the Vaporwave fans were respecting you.
The
Or
Vapor-
Electronica, or
yeah,
whatever it is.
Got hella respect from the Vaporwave fans for that one.
Which is very important for your career.
Which is actually really huge. Like Vaporwave fans being on your side and trusting you and liking you, that's essentially internet street cred. There's different kinds of IRL street cred, but Vaporwave fans liking you is internet street cred. Internet, as far as the internet goes, Vaporwave fans are basically like a street gang. So, and you don't want to cross Vaporwave fans because they know how to hack the mainframe and that sort of shit. Did I say the mainframe? I meant the mainframe. But you know, they're gonna hack that stuff. So you don't want the vapor. You don't want to cross the vaporwave fans.
So it's kind of became sort of a trend or a meme in my kind of interviews that I've done to, which normally most other professional interviewers don't do, is ask the guest if they have anything to ask the interviewer. So do you have anything to ask the young melon?
Yeah, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
So I have kind of two ideas. One is being a musician. This can either be a singer or even a drummer, or I'm probably gonna, the next instrument that I'm gonna work on is piano, because I already use like some apps that are kind of like playing the piano, so I'm sure it'll be the most natural one for me. And also it's kind of similar to drumming with the kind of rhythms and the tapping. But also I've really been into, since like I'd say 2 years ago, I've been really into fashion, so I might be a fashion designer. I might, and definitely when I'm a musician, if I'm a musician, then I'm definitely gonna have like a merch line. But yeah, those are my kind of two ideas where I see myself in 5 years.
He's thinking bigger than most musicians are these days, because it's like every major musician out there has a fashion line as well. So it's like you've already got your eye on the ball.
So basically, everyone has been saying, ever since our channel started to go up and up with subscribers, they've been saying, oh my gosh, there's a similarity. It's bald head, and they all like hip-hop music and all kind of share the same kind of music taste with differences, but so everyone has been calling us the 3 stages of melon. So I am young melon. Anthony, you are?
I'm the middle melon.
What are you, Dad?
I'm the old melon. Almost rotten.
And this is the youngest melon.
3 generations of melon.
So 3
Not
generations
related
of
in
melon.
any way, except for the bookends.
Yeah.
We wanted to bring a meme-worthy
Performance.
performance.
Yeah. Snap away, boys.
Yeah, so yeah. Take your screenshots, edit this, and whoever has the best meme, then I'll shout you out, okay?
I might want to add one thing, though, that I, and I think you as well, are happy, delighted, excited, thanking Anthony for
Big
having us
fans.
come around, do the video. One of the first people to ever shout out Ruairi,
Yeah.
kind of put him on the map,
think it
agreed
was
to
the first
interview
one.
him early on, and appreciated.
And look, I already said this earlier, you know, thank you for coming over and doing the interview. This is the only
thank
interview
you.
I scheduled for my West Coast tour. So this is the only interview I wanted to do.
I think it's because of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's just all about you.
Yeah.
It is called Dad Reacts.
It is.
Yeah, so he is the big star.
And I know lots.
Listen, I'm telling you, you know, I know it says Dad Reacts on the channel, but you're gonna get big, you're gonna blow up. You need to start like thinking about like
Just reacts.
contractually, like what are you gonna do to like, you know,
Change the name.
cut him out, so then when you become
whatever.
Exactly. Cut him out, so when you
I
become,
gotcha.
what are you gonna do? Are you gonna become the next Jimmy Fallon and you're gonna be dragging your dad onto the set to just like be hanging out there? You know,
I think you might be the pro man, because now he's got the melon.
Okay. Well, okay. Well, listen, as long as you
I'm
have
going
to
to be
be
carrying around the merch.
you have to
Yeah.
be in charge of guiding where he goes, because if you're not, he's gonna take over. You don't want him to be. You want to end up being the star,
Yeah.
right? You want to end up being the star
Yeah.
at the end of it. So okay, there you go.
And on that note, I would like to serve a toast to just for the 3 melons coming together, and for all of you fans, all of you fan melons out there supporting us, each one of us. And on that note,
Cheers. We didn't cheers.
yeah, cheers. First of all, cheers. Ding. Transition. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.